Sup, you chuckle fucks? It's your boy Dark Arco here with What If Issei was a gunslinger and a martial arts master part 8. I realized one thing. I have never done any what ifs to get to reaching to be part 8. I have like 5 what ifs that reach part 7, but I never have like done something so longer. Well, so long in my freaking what if series and this what if, whatever. But not the point. Let me begin this as what if. Let me shut the fuck up. But yeah, so this is part 8. Yeah, yay! I thought I did a one what if series that reaches all the way to part 9, but I don't think I reached it. I think it was the Gojo one, the Gojo Kakashi one. I thought it reaches all the way to part 8, but I think I stopped at part 7. But yeah, not the point. Let me begin into this what if. Let me shut the fuck up and let me just begin. So we begin into Issei's mission. Issei is right now on a mission to kind of go assassinate this mostly this person on a boat. He just needs to assassinate this person because some person asked him to do it for mostly the help of liberation or something. And that's where Issei said, "Fuck it, I'm getting paid anyway. Fuck it." This is where Issei needed the money anyway because, well, he doesn't really need the money, but he's going on a date with 8 girls entirely: Micah, Moriyama, Mira, Catherine, and then the other 4 girls that he kind of just met on his robotics team. He wasn't expecting them to actually fall in love with him. This is where, well, his dragon inside him being Diedrich says, "Well, you weren't expecting that multiple girls would be flocking towards you like a bunch of chickens?" Yeah, I would have not believed one of my hosts would have a harem this fucking quick. He said, "Okay, not a harem, only dating." This is where Diedrich says, yeah, you can say harem, not a harem, tomato, potato, whatever. Just realize this, kid. You're going to have such a large family. Wasn't that your dream before? Wasn't your dream to only have a harem just to have a large family? Just because you had mostly just to kind of take care of something like that? This is where, well, mostly Issei said, how do you... I seen your, well, what's it called? I seen your memories. And yes, in your memories, I saw that you only wanted a harem just because you actually wanted to love and care about people. Of course, also kind of have a huge family. Doesn't work well, having multiple children and kind of running around. Doesn't work well, mostly Issei say, screw off, you fucking dragon. Damn it, why did the seal got undo when I was fucking fighting against Coco Bill? I should really keep talking to that damn wizard about stealing my sacred gear again. No, you don't, you brat. I do not want to be sealed again. I'm just so bored and mostly, how's the thing? That's where, well, Diedrich says, I'm so bored and actually just sleeping there and waiting until you unseal me again. I'm not going to sit there and just be sealed again. No, I do not stand for this. I am right now protesting. This is where Issei switches up and says, fine. I won't seal you off, dragon. This is where Diedrich gets kind of a grin, and this is where Issei says, unless you help me out with some stuff. Sure, what is it? What are entirely sacred gears? This is where Diedrich switches up and says, you didn't pay attention towards your ex-master, did you? Not entirely. You realize I was too interested in Opie at that time. At the same time, I was thinking of doing something else. This is where, well, mostly Diedrich explains about sacred gears. There's normal, lower tier not longitis, mostly low tier sacred gears being like that of the twice Gurgle or another one. Then he explains the medium tiers, the high tiers, and then he explains longitis sacred gears, which are mostly ranked from low, medium, and high. He explains that mostly the sacred gear that Issei has, the boosted gear, is only a medium tier sacred gear. But probably with Issei's power, probably can't go to longitis, maybe not longitis, maybe can go up to being a high sacred gear, because mostly of Issei's just raw power entirely. Issei says, I see. What do you mean raw power? I thought my power is refined. Well, kinda. Your magical stat still sucks, but for some reason, I feel like you have your stuff sealed. Maybe. I don't know. Issei said, okay. Well, I mean, yes, I do have a seal. I had the demonic energy seal away, even the sacred gear, your seal away. Could that have done something with it? I don't know, but you have a little bit more magic than the original in the beginning. Quite interesting. Still, kid, I actually, since I explained about the sacred gears, can I ask you something? He says, sure, shoot ahead. This is where mostly Dietrich asks him about what exactly is the form and why does he have a hole in the chest. Mostly every time he goes into that form, mostly either the basic form or mostly he already has a hole in the chest like every time, but he goes into that first form and the second form, the one with the two guns. This is where, well, the one with the sword and two guns. He just said, that. Well, I only discovered it a while ago when I was actually on a mission and fight against some supernatural beings. I managed to lose my guns on the middle of that battle. Of course, my two original guns before, mostly. So mostly, this is mostly I never did mention the two guns, but mostly this gun is called Death Seeker. Mostly the Arctic Revolver of Abyss. Of course, the other one is called the Crimson Blood. Mostly the Crimson Blood Gun. Of course, well, he explains that before he even got those weapons, or basically any other mythical weapon that he managed to kind of get from different missions, he had two revolvers, or mostly one revolver and the other one being just a kind of Desert Eagle. On the mission, he lost him during the supernatural battle. Of course, this is where, well, he was actually in a battle between mostly a fight of like a werewolf and a vampire kind of mixed together. This is where, well, mostly Dietrich says, now I see the memories that you're talking about. Yeah, it was a pain in the ass to fight him. But during that time, before I even noticed anything, I was about to die. I actually did feel like I was dying in the battle because he was controlling my blood. And of course, I was actually about to die from a claw attack. When that was going to happen, I actually just remember a lot of things. And then I remember something that my grandmother told me about. Mostly that she's not entirely a human, and neither am I. She explains that we are considered to be half Aron cards, or mostly I was a quarter Aron card, but I could probably awaken the power that my great grandfather had, and maybe my grandmother. My grandmother, I think, had it also. I think she awakened it one time, but she was probably too weak. But when I was actually about to die, my power boosted up much faster. I thought I'd just awaken your sacred gear for a second, mostly the twice critical form. But that wasn't the case. Instead, I actually awakened to have a hole in my chest by none other than the, werewolf mixed vampire. But of course, he was going to claw me, but it looked like he just pierced my chest. But instead of like me dying or having the blood kind of go out of my body, the hole just stayed there, and of course, I felt much more powerful. A mask appears underneath my kind of neck, and of course, white clothing appeared, even a sword. It felt like this sword was so natural to me, and it was connected to me, which it was. It was basically a part of my soul. Of course, during that time, I really just kind of used the sword to fight against the creature, and realized that I needed more power. That's why I thought of something so much into my head. Mostly something in my head told me to say the words resurrection, mostly in Spanish, but not the point. Resurrection and Los Lobos, being the wolves, and mostly that's in English. Mostly he tells Dietrich. This is where, when that happened, and of course I sheathed my blade into the, mostly sheath, that's when an explosion of energy appeared. Of course, I really didn't know how to control it at this point, but the only thing I knew was shooting a blue plasma gun. Of course, I only remember the name being called Cero, and of course I shot it and killed the werewolf in the head, mostly blowing his head off entirely, before the werewolf could even react. Of course, during that time, I started getting more memories, mostly not memories, but like voices and like abilities and telling me in my head, like Sonido, Cero, Garganta, or whatever. I didn't understand. It probably is a part of the race I was from. Probably all races that mostly are part of the Arankar race will be told instantly in how to use their abilities. But I can't really remember that much. This is where, mostly Dietrich kind of nodded. So that hole in your chest, can it be healed? This is where, he says, I never tried it. I never did tell Azir to ever heal my, the hole. I decided not to worry her too much. She is my little sister, and so I didn't want to worry her. Luckily, when my uncle and aunt, they actually did adopted her into their family, so pretty much she's my cousin now. Which I don't really mind. This is where mostly Drake nodded. Which, yes, mostly Ozzy Argento did get adopted by mostly Issei's uncle and aunt. But yeah, but not the point. This is where mostly we go back into Issei. So yeah, that's what the Arrancar race is entirely. I think you're supposed to have a hole during your awakening of something. I don't remember. I really don't understand that much about my powers, but I have them. I can also fly without even using wings. But yeah, Diedrich understood. Mostly, he has seen mostly his partner just walk up in the air, whether care in the world, either fly, walk up, or just freaking disappear from people's views by using tornado. And this is where, well, he understands. Issei's a little bit different from normal supernatural beings. This is where, well, Diedrich understood. I see. So, I would also like to ask you one question. Why are you so interested in guns so much? I usually have a lot of partners before you that were interested in magic, swords, daggers, and even hand-to-hand combat. But you're the most interesting one because you're one that are actually interested in guns. And not gonna lie, I don't really like guns. This is where Issei sweats up and says, right. Sorry about that. Mostly, my interest in guns were also kind of played out from the fact that my grandfather and grandmother were also interested in guns. And also probably my great-grandfather that explained about the Iran card. But mostly my great-grandfather, or mostly my grandfather, was mostly a war veteran. He did taught me how to go to hand-to-hand combat, but also how to use a gun. Which he wasn't really good at it, so of course I had to ask my grandmother a lot. She was an engineer, and of course like a robotic engineer. That's why I was always interested in going to robotics. But of course, she also did taught me how to kind of build guns, how to make guns, how to do a lot of shit. Of course, she also told me how to aim, shoot, and other things. Basic stuff. Of course, she also really was very strict and told me that if you're ever older, remember this. Guns are always helpful. They solve your modern problems out of the way. Mostly if anyone tries to rob you, shoot them in the fucking leg. This is where Diedrich watch out and says, that's interesting. This is where he says, yeah, that is true. Of course, I did lose those memories during the fact that I got perverted thanks to some old bastard. And basically my parents were being neglectful but at the same time perverted around me. And so of course I became too much of a pervert. But thanks to, I guess, Yuma, Rainer? I can't tell. Man, I'm going to get confused with both of them. I'm going to get scared and accidentally shooting one of them because, well, then again, they both look the same. And if they're in what the hell did it say? An accident experiment that split them into two people? It's going to be confusing. Whatever. But yeah, thanks to her, whatever, mostly the fallen angel that actually hit me with the light spear and killed me, thinking I had a dangerous sacred gear. Now that I know it, I do have a dangerous sacred gear. But that's not the point. Thanks to her, I just realized that I was weak, pathetic, and I could have probably solved that with a gun. This is where, well, Diedrich switched off and says, okay, you cannot solve everything with a gun. This is where he says, yes, I can. I mean, I can solve anything with a gun. It's basically, if I have modern problems, I have a modern solution. This is where he pulls out a gun. This is where, well, Diedrich says, whatever, kid. I see, so that's where came your interest in becoming a gunslinger. Yep. What about the martial arts? Like I did mention, my grandfather was basically a martial artist master. Of course, mostly he was good at using the Taekwondo. Mostly a technique that he kind of created somewhat. Mostly techniques. Of course, there's a lot of techniques I haven't actually learned upon, but I'll learn upon it later. Right now, I'm just going to see if I can actually fight against people with my half version of Taekwondo. If I have to really get to be focused on Taekwondo, I will really get focused on Taekwondo. Mastering all the basics and all the what's called advanced techniques. I might actually just refine the basic techniques more often. This is where, well, mostly Drake says, why? Oh, the reason is because my grandfather told me that even the basic techniques are quite dangerous if you refine them enough. So of course I'm thinking of just refining them so perfectly that I will be able to defeat anyone with just the basic techniques. Of course, that doesn't mean that I won't need to train on the refined techniques. There's 3 dangerous techniques that are forbidden and I should probably not use them. I haven't used him. Well, I mean, I have used one, and it did restrain my body a lot. I heard it a bunch. This is where we'll see Diedrich nodded. This is where Diedrich says, well, what else do I want to ask you? Oh, that also reminds me. Why are you working with the Yakuzas? It's better than working with the devils. I get paid. I don't need to listen to some bitchy rat right now annoying me about how to get contracts and blah 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 blah. I just got annoyed with that bullcrap. I'd rather be listening to the Yakuza boss because at least he's chill, cool, and actually can understand about some of my problems. This is where, well, mostly Diedrich says, so do you see him as like a second father? Kinda. This is where you said. This is where mostly Diedrich switch up and says, I see. What about your actual parents? Mostly the Hyodos. My father was an idiot for not listening to my grandmother or my grandfather. And of course, my mother, I don't really know much about her. I just know that she's my mother, and mostly the last name was supposedly Hyodo. Of course, my father decided to take that name instead of either being called Jin or Stark, just like either my mother or, well, mostly my grandmother or grandfather. This is where, well, mostly Diedrich Schweitzer. So that's why you hate the Hyodo name and decide to just take either Jin or Stark. Well, yeah, because they're basically the original names I was supposed to have and not Hyodo. I don't care about that last name. This is where, well, mostly Diedrich Schweitzer says, okay, fine. Okay. How likely would you like to even train in magic? I hate magic. I don't care. I really do not want to go to complicated magic spells. I really don't care. Either I use a gun or I use my goddamn hands. I don't care about using magic. Besides, guns can solve basically the magic range problems. I can use a sniper rifle for longer range. I can use a pistol for long range, a shotgun for close range, or even just use my fists or my legs and fists for mostly close range. But other than that, I do not care about using magic. Diedrich switched up and says, fine. But what happened if the white one actually... Wait. Let me ask you something. The white one. Tell me, what exactly what exactly does it do exactly? This is where, well, Diedrich switched up and says, well, it divides your magic. Mostly it divides the power, the strength, and magic. This is what he says. And what does a gun do? It can't divide guns because mostly oh, yeah, I got an advantage against the white one. That bastard pulls up, I'm about to be blasting him. This is where Issei pulls out mostly a video out of YouTube. Mostly he pulls out his phone and kind of like shows it towards Diedrich by mostly watching it. And this is where, well, mostly Issei just kind of puts the So this is what Issei shows Diedrich mostly this video.
Pieces.
Your pieces.
My gun.
Oh.
Anyway, I started blasting. Bah, bah. Now I don't see so good, so I missed. Then.
So I started blasting. Bah, bah. This is where, well, Diedrich Schweitzer says, I can't say anything to you, can I? Besides, you will start blasting the white one, wouldn't you? Hell yes. What happened if it's a girl and you can actually make her a part of your harem? Issei right now stops and says, Diedrich, can you stop with the whole harem stuff? I really just changed my mind and just wanted to become, well, mostly a one-girl man, but goddammit, Catherine, Mariama, and Mira, and then the others. Okay, this is going to be more confusing on my date, so don't bother me up with the harem stuff. Oh, come on. What happened if the white one was a girl? It'd be funny. This is where, well, mostly Issei says it won't be funny, because how else am I going to just blast him? I mean, you can blast him, and this is where Issei says, I know what you're going to say, fuck off. This is where, well, Diedrich switches up and says, okay, fine. So, this is where Issei says, serious question. So you're actually telling me how they actually can divide my magic and physical strength? Yeah? That also means stamina and other things. Yep. This is where, well, Issei says, great. Don't have to be annoyed by being divided. I mean, you can always boost your powers, or I can always just dodge the attack. I can use a needle just to dodge or attack multiple times. Or you can do that. Yes, you can do that. Oh god, I realized how powerful you are against a white one. You are just completely broken against them. Whoever they are just going to be like, well, you can just disappear from them, use a gate to just go away from them, kind of come back and just decide to fight them with hand-to-hand combat if they're not their balance breaker. Actually, how strong are you in hand-to-hand combat? Issei says, what's a balance breaker? This is where Dietrich says, right, you never did understand what balance breakers are. This is where, well, mostly Dietrich had to explain about a balance breaker, and this is where, well, mostly he says, I see. So what will be the balance breaker for us? I think you can use it. I don't think you ever used it, did you? Nope, don't know what it is. And this is where, well, Dietrich says, okay, it's like this armor kind of around your body. This is where Issei says, armor? No, I'm not using it then. This is where, well, Dietrich says, wait, what? What do you mean you're not going to use it? What is wrong with having armor around you? You have protection. Issei says, I don't care. If so, my movement's down most of the time. I really do not care about wearing armor too much. This is where, well, mostly Dietrich what Johnson says, but you can use your emotions to kind of change the outlook of the armor. This is where Issei says, change the outlook of the armor? Wait, can I make it bigger? This is where, well, mostly Dietrich says, I thought you said it would slow your movements. Well, I mean, it would slow my movements, but if I'm going to have lots of defense, I might have to just make it bigger. Is there something else from the balance breaker? Because I know you're hiding something else. Fine, there is. It's something called Juggernaut Drive. Juggernaut Drive is mostly something that will mostly remove all the limits on the sacred gear. You can use all my powers, but you will lose your mind, and of course you will lose your life form. Mostly your, mostly life energy. And of course, since you're back to being a normal human, and an Arankar, how long an Arankar can live, I actually have no clue. They can probably live longer than normal. But whatever. You will probably lose a lot of life. If you stay in the Juggernaut Drive for like 20 or 30 minutes, you will probably die in it. I see. Is there any other forms that might be able to do the exact same, but not the exact same? Nope. Issei then thinks about it. Actually, I have an idea. I don't know if this will work with, what's it called, the boosted gear, but I'm thinking I actually wanted to train on it. Wait, what? Wait. Did I hear that right? You want to train with the boosted gear? You actually want to use my power? This is where he says, don't be too goddamn happy about yourself. I only have 2 ideas on mostly the sacred gear. And that is something to actually go beyond the Juggernaut Drive, but not use the Juggernaut Drive. Instead, use a different form. Now, the other one is basically I just want to test it out if I can actually change my guns into, yeah, mostly using a bit of the draconic energy. This is where Dietrich says, I mean, it's better than normal, I'll take it. This is where Elisa says, fuck it. But that's not the point. Also, Dietrich says, yeah? Will the white one be able to do similar things like this? If the white one's smart enough, mostly whatever the host thought of, they can probably do it. Okay. So how many hosts have you had before, like you and the white one? This is where, well, mostly Dietrich says, you're my 42 hosts. And they are also 42 hosts. They're basically equal to who you ever are. He says, I see. Also, Dietrich, is God really dead? This is where Dietrich says, how do you know about that? Oh wait, never mind. I'm stupid. You learned about that from mostly Coco Bell. Coco Bean, I call him a Coco Bean, or I call him a Coco Bitch, because, well, I made him my bitch. This is where Dietrich says, I mean, you definitely did made him your bitch, but not the point. Yes, God is dead. He died against mostly the 4 Satans of the underworld. So, yeah. And also probably, mostly died against that. This is where, well, he says, I see. So, Dietrich, what is the strongest beings in the world? Dragons. This is where he says, I'm being dead ass serious. Like, what is the actually strongest beings? This is where, well, like the tiers? Yes. So you realize how there's like the demonic system and how there's like low tier demons, mid tier demons, high tier demons, and then there's like, what's it called, also, well, not demons, but mostly devils. But mostly he then says there's also like, what's it called, like super devils, what's it called, special high ranking devils or whatever. There's also like god rank, there's also like, yeah, there's demigods, god rank, and then there's mostly dragons. There's also dragons, mostly system where being like There's normal, low tier dragons, medium tier dragons, and like high tier dragons. Then there's Dragon Kings. There's 5 Dragon Kings, if I can remember. That being these Dragon Kings, like he mentioned all 5 of them. And then this is where, well, he also did tell Issei to watch out for one of the Dragon Kings named Tiamat because she is pissed at him. Issei says, why would she be pissed? Don't worry about that. I'll tell you later. Issei said, fine. This is where he then explains about, what's it called? The Heavenly Dragons, which only 2 dragons managed to get to that, and that was basically him. He just flexed saying that was me and the white one. Okay, what is the white one's actual name so I don't actually keep calling the white one Albion? This is where, well, he kind of grits his teeth. This is where he says, I see. Okay, go on. This is where, well, he then explains about the 2 dragon gods. One dragon god named Orpheus, the infamous kind of Ouroboros dragon. And then there's, well, the, what's it called? Great Red. The dragons of Apocalypse, also dreams being, yeah, Great Red. This is where, well, he says, so he's considered to be the strongest. Yep. Quite interesting. This is where, well, he says kind of, so I should mention one thing. Issei is still walking towards this direction. We'll see. He has to be on a yacht, but of course, he's just been talking to Dietrich for a while because, well, he can get there and probably assassinate whoever he needs instantly, but whatever. This is where, well, Issei then explains, is there anything else in this world that I might need to worry about except the supernatural, like the 3 factions? There's yokais, vampires, werewolves. I mean, you already deal with that, clearly, since you activate your form. Okay, yes. There's also other creatures like Wendigos, which mostly Wendigos usually stay in the desert, so you don't really need to deal with that problem. You say, There's probably zombies, but I think those are just from necromancers, but yeah. He says, This is where, well, he then just explains a bunch of, like, this somewhat supernatural, like, succubus, incubus, elves. He then goes on and different types. He also explains what the different pantheons, the different gods, mostly the Hindu gods. The Hindu gods being the strongest gods out of almost all of them. Then the second would be the Greek gods, and yada yada yada, yeah. He's gonna say, I see. Should probably avoid the Greek gods and Hindu gods, shouldn't I? Well, the Hindu gods aren't that bad. Mostly Shiva himself is not that bad. I have met him once, and he really didn't kick my ass to the 9 rooms of hell. This is where, well, mostly he says, I see. So, if you and Albion had to fight against, well, Shiva, who would think would win? That'll be probably a close match. He says, don't be too damn cocky, you damn dragon. This is where, well, Trek says, no, it'd be kind of a close match. We are kind of considered to be strong enough to probably even fight God, the Bible God, but me and Albion, if we work together, instead of fighting each other, but yeah. He says, so, why the fuck did you want me, if the white one was basically a girl, if basically the Albion had a host who was a girl, why the fuck are you telling me to make her into my harem? If you basically want to continue this rivalry. This is where T-Rex sighs and says, really, but mostly my real answer, I'm not really trying to continue this rivalry. It's mostly Albion still wanting to continue it after such a long massacre of humans in battle. I really do not want to continue this on. Mr. Instant says, really? This is where T-Rex says, yeah, pretty much. I really do not want to deal with hosts that actually want power and just for themselves because they don't want to protect anyone. You, on the other hand, is strange. You want power, but not power to protect like a family and loved ones. You want power to protect those you actually kind of love, like started finding out to love, like mostly your friends' kind of family, your uncle, your mostly even the Yakuza leader, your girlfriend, your first one being a Micah, and then even the 8 ones, the other 8. This is where it was. It's like, you did not remember that. This is where it was. Dietrich says, but for real, you're the only host that's actually quite interesting because mostly you don't want power to actually kind of, well, just protect yourself. You wanted power in the beginning to kind of be stronger than anyone else and be alone most of the time. But now that you change from being a lone wolf to being like a pack of wolves, yeah, you're quite different. He says, what happened if I am still a lone wolf? This is where Dietrich says, I would not believe that. This is where you say scoffs and say, whatever. But we go into mostly them kind of just getting towards the boat. They get to the yacht, and of course they're inside the yacht. This is where Issei is basically dressed up to be nice. He's right now wearing like this white tuxedo and of course like suit. This is where, well, he has mostly like an eye patch right now on his eye. And this is where, well, Issei is kind of wearing a fur coat on him. But yeah, this is where, well, Issei is walking around. This is where, well, mostly they're basically on this yacht. And this is where Issei is trying to sense and where the person will be at or see where he's at. This is where, well, Issei managed to find a VIP room, but this is where 3 people actually tell him to halt there and actually kind of go away from the mostly VIP room unless he has a key card to go in. This is where Issei says, wait, this is not the bathroom. This is where, well, he started talking in Germany. This is because he's pretty good in actually changing his voice and anything. He just needed to, well, mostly, let me say that again. He's not pretty good at changing his voice. He is good at mostly 3 different languages, or mostly 4 languages. Mostly Japanese first, yes. Then it was Spanish and then American. And then mostly German, which is one that he just picked up a while ago. Just on some of the missions. This is where, well, he started speaking German. This is where, well, the 3 of them looked confused and say, this is not the bathroom. This is where, well, mostly he say in German, he say, oh, where is the bathroom? I've been really needing to use it. This is where, well, it's a set. And this is where, well, mostly the 3 people. Mostly is one old looking dude. And the other 2 is basically looking like this. So basically they look like this. One old dude. One kind of like big ass dude with kind of demonic horns, whatever. And then the other one's like a child. Someone having like demon tail, whatever. So yeah, one of them does kind of look like Gasper. This is where, well, Issei does not, he has never met Gasper. So of course he doesn't know about that. This is where, well, mostly the older man says, oh, then follow me along. This is where, well, mostly Issei nodded. This is where, well, they get to the kind of bathroom. Issei just walks in it without a care in the world because he does kind of need to use it. This is where Drake says, you can't be serious. You need to use the bathroom. Shut the fuck up, Drake. I did need to use the bathroom. So fuck off. I gotta make it even realistic anyway. That's right. Issei started kind of using the bathroom until he kind of zipped his pants and whatever. And this is where, well, mostly the older man was kind of standing behind Issei and saying, so tell me, are you an assassin? This is where, well, Issei is kind of still speaking in German and saying, isn't this kind of gay or something? Mostly I'm still using the damn bathroom. Can I at least zip up my pants? This is where, well, mostly the person says, sure, do that. This is where Issei does, and this is where he turns around to look at mostly the older man. This is where, well, Issei said, do you need something? This is where, well, mostly the person says, pretty much, I want to know, are you really an assassin to try to assassinate the, well, the leader of, what's it called? Mostly, he then explains the leader to kind of be a part of mostly this, like, empire kind of, like, business, or mostly, like, yeah, this empire person who's willing to rule the world, blah, blah, blah. And they're pretty much a part of this organization. This is where, well, Issei said, well, you can say not really. Well, maybe you can say it. Pretty much, I'm just gonna do this. This is where Issei pulls out both of his guns in an instant. This is where the person right now gets on guard. And this is where, well, he rushes at Issei right now with blinding speed, throwing knives in an instant. Issei blasted through the knife, and this is where he blasted a hole through, what's it called, the old man. This is where the old man coughed from blood and said, damn. This is where, well, while Issei blasts a hole through the old man coughed up some blood. And this is where he activates something in his ring. And this is where Issei says, what the hell is this? Is where, well, water exploded from the sink and even the toilets. And even where he actually pee. And this is where Issei said, oh, hell no. This is where Issei jumps out of the way. But of course, something exploded to the door. Now, of course, the 2 kind of like others were kind of just still standing by because the older man just told him to be on guard until a water just blasts him and smashes into them. Mostly smashes into the big guy because Issei just uses Sonido to dodge it. But yeah, this is where mostly he just say, what the hell was that, D-Drake? This is where D-Drake says, those are, I see. Now I know what they are. They're not sacred gears, but imperialist weapons. Imperialist what? Imperialist weapons. They're pretty much just like sacred gears, but mostly designed to be a little bit different from sacred gears. I see. So what the hell is this guy? Controlling water, liquid, or what? I think it's controlling liquid. So blood is liquid. It might be a pain in the ass if I shoot him. This is where blood almost hit him in the head until Issei just turns to the left. And this is where Issei sees, what's it called, the old man. This is where the old man is kind of getting out the door. This is where, well, he's bleeding from the chest. Like 2 holes that explode through his chest. And this is where he's looking at Issei with mostly tired look. But this is where, well, water is right now around him. This is where, well, the other person, mostly the bigger looking person, even the kid kind of gets on guard. This is where, well, Issei says, great, they're going to be a pain in the ass. Whatever. Well, going to have to deal with these people. This is where the older looking guy, mostly the bigger looking guy rushes at Issei with blinding speed saying, "Die, brat!" This is where Issei was about to get hit until Issei says, "Pathetic. Out of my way." So mostly he says, "Settle." This is where, well, a blue blast appears right in front of his hand, and this is where the older looking guy who could not even move, mostly the bigger looking guy, gets blasted with a blue kind of blast. This is where he gets pushed away, and this is where, well, mostly the older looking person, even the kid, gets on guard real fast, because mostly they are not just fighting against an assassin, but someone from the supernatural. Issei said, damn it, I just wanted to assassinate the bastard that I needed to go. I just am a damn bounty hunter, and yet I had to deal with this shit. Whatever. This is where, well, the kid right now rushes at Issei, and this is where, well, he says, "Die!" This is where, well, the kid right now uses, this is where, well, the kid is right now rushing towards Issei with mostly a staff in one hand, and this is where, well, Issei says, "This kid is annoying." This is where the kid right now rushes at Issei with blind speed, and this is where Issei says, "Is this some kind of yokai or something?" Right now, Issei asks Diedrich says, he kind of does look like a yokai. You can probably tell from the ears. Probably the ears? Tail? I don't know what that is. Just kill him off, kid. I am right now getting confused if it's a girl or a guy. This is where Issei says, "Same." This is where Issei right now appears right in front of the kid and right now blasts his head mostly with the gun. This is where, well, mostly Diedrich says, "You didn't need to be that brutal. I don't give a damn." This is where, well, mostly the older looking guy says, "I want to die. You might have killed both of my conquerors, but I will defeat you now." This is where, well, mostly Issei realized, this guy is really acting like a villain. This is where Diedrich says, "Yeah, that is true." Mostly, this is where, well, mostly water started appearing all around the boat, and this is where Issei says, "Wait, we're in the middle of a goddamn scene. We just talked about this motherfucker can control liquid." Diedrich says, fucked. This is where, well, mostly Issei says, "Okay, well." This is where, well, a giant water dragon, like 2 giant water dragons appear on top of mostly over the boat. Issei says, "Oh, great." Well, Issei puts both of his guns back to his back, and this is where, well, Issei pulls out his sword, and this is where, well, even though he hasn't trained with the Kendo girls, he's going to just have to do this. Resurrection, Los Lobos. This is where, well, he appears in his form, and this is where, well, he started using his gun, and this is where, well, Issei started blasting through the water dragons in an instant. This is where, well, the person winding his eyes, he's seen that form before, during the kind of ring games between the Gremory and, well, the Phoenix. This is where, well, he never expected this person to appear right in front of him. This is where, well, Issei says, "You're dead." This is where Issei puts the mostly gun right towards the guy's head in an instant. And this is where, well, Issei blasted this guy's head off. This is where, well, before the guy can even fall to, like, the sea, he decided to take the guy's ring in an instant. This is where Issei says, "So this ring could be useful in the near future, can it? I think it can even bind with you, maybe. Maybe not. I don't use water." This is where Diedrich says, "That is true. Is there sacred gear that mostly like an imperial weapon that can actually use fire?" "That I don't know, kid. There's about, like, I think similar the amount of, like, sacred gears in just original 42. This is where Issei says, "I see. Whatever. I'm taking this water ring. Whatever." Issei gets towards the VIP room. He just blasts away. He's still in his resurrection form, and this is where, well, Issei says, Los Lobos. This is where, well, 2 wolves appear right now, rushing in and exploding the whole yacht. Issei didn't give a damn. He just kills everyone. Fuck it. This is where, well, Issei didn't care too much. Well, he didn't send 2 wolves. He just appeared inside, and right now, kind of, well, mostly he's back into his original form. This is where, well, he pulled out one of his revolvers, mostly, not one of his revolvers, mostly, not revolvers, bleh. Mostly one of his guns being the red kind of, mostly the normal looking revolver, and this is where he just blasted the person that he needed to kind of kill. This is where mostly bouncers try to attack Issei, but Issei disappeared from them and just jumped over the boat. But yeah, mostly he jumped over a boat and it looked like he landed into water, but not really. He used his tornado and just standing right now above the sky. Issei says, "Pathetic." This is where, mostly Diedrich says, "You could have done that more clean, but fuck it. You're already annoyed and pissed with the others." Yep. Well, let's go then. This is where Issei starts kind of flying off, and this is where, well, he gets towards mostly his house. He gets mostly towards, not his house, the Hiyori house. The Hiyori house, he gets towards mostly his uncle's house. And he just lives there with mostly Ozzy and the others. But yeah, this is where, well, right now he is kind of finished with his mission. He gets into his room. Mostly his uncle says, "So what happened to the mission?" He says, "It's a bother, an annoyment." Whatever. "I'm gonna be training for a while." This is where, well, he said. He kind of just went into his room, kind of changed clothes, and this is where, well, he kind of just went outside, mostly went towards mostly the Yakuza's kind of training ground for a bit, but yeah. This is where, well, mostly Issei started just training. just by himself. This training room is kind of like a white kind of room where it's designed to be whatever you want to be. And this is where, well, Issei is just designed to be just a rocky fail. Issei just started training by himself, and of course, no one was there actually watching him or not, but yeah. He started using the boosted gear more often, but yeah. But that's not the point here or there. He might have also awakened something that actually caused him to be much more stronger than the Juggernaut itself. This is where, well, mostly Issei said, well, I'll use this against the White One if I ever have to. This is where, well, Diedrich says, I agree, partner. But why did you have to design it to look like that? And why is it call out just like that goddamn speech? Issei says, fuck you, that's why. I wanted it to be that speech. You said that I needed mostly a quote to activate the Juggernaut drive, right? This is where, well, mostly Diedrich says yes. Well, I'm gonna do a quote, a speech from my favorite anime that I watched a while ago. This is where, well, Diedrich says, whatever, kid, whatever. But mostly Issei just, well, he didn't awaken it fully, but he was just training on, because mostly on Friday, he kind of got to the location. Saturday, he just killed it. Mostly killed the person pretty early, but yeah. And dealt with some others, but he was just training there until the night. Issei then woke up the next day. He only got like 2 hours of sleep or something, and decides to get ready because he is it's right now Sunday. This is where, well, he actually still managed to kind of awaken that damn kind of ability, but not the point. I will mention what is it later. You probably already see in the goddamn, like, what's it called? In the thumbnail, but not the point. But let me go into mostly the date that Issei had to go on. Issei kind of texted the girls, mostly texted Mariyama, Catherine, even was it called, he mostly saw a group chat where she was added into. He didn't just texted them individual. He just texted them saying, are you all kind of ready? Or this is where the girl says, nope. Everyone just started kind of talking. There was like 8 different, mostly speech bubbles. This is where, well, Issei knows that he didn't add a Micah into this, so that's the case. But yeah, he's just confused why there was more than just 8. There was actually a little bit more than normal. Issei was confused, but just decided to think that mostly some of them repeat their own words. Issei decides to go towards the bathroom and just take a bath and just kind of fall asleep for a second. Issei didn't care too much right now for a second, so whatever. He just fell asleep. This is where, well, Issei then gets a ring from his phone, and this is where, well, Issei says, yeah, hello? This is where, well, mostly it was none other than Moriyama's kind of voice, and says, are you ready, Issei? This is where, well, Issei says, no, wait, let me get up. Issei kind of gets up. Of course, he did text Micah about if she wanted to go on a date, which made her kind of a blushing mess, and of course said yes. And this is where Issei said, good, because you're going to also hang out with other people. Sorry about that. This is where, well, Micah said, no, it's fine. So, of course, Issei gets out of the bath, cleans up real fast, and this is where, well, he did hear music while kind of having this mostly bath, but yeah, he was pretty much just kind of hearing the song. This is... So pretty much the song was called Living a Lie, made by rival Iziden and Andrew Stone, or whatever the hell. But of course, this is where it will. Took a swing at a wrecking ball, and I prayed for my downfall, but you get the point, yeah. He's pretty much just kind of singing it while kind of like washing up real fast, but yeah. This is where, well, mostly Issei kind of like finishes and just kind of gets ready. This is where, well, mostly Issei's outfit kind of just continues to kind of look like this. So pretty much this is what he kind of wears, mostly like white pants, white kind of coat, like, suit coats, mostly black kind of button-up shirt, a purplish tie, and of course like a purplish kind of fur coat, but yeah. This is where, well, mostly, well, not purple, it's mostly the color red, but of course, this is where, well, it's not red, mostly a bluish color, and this is where, well, Issei kind of gets out of mostly his, like, mostly Uncle's house, and this is where his uncle says, where the hell are you going? And are you going on another assassin mission? Issei says, no, I'm just going on a date. Also, Uncle, how do I need to question something real fast. This is where, well, his uncle says, wait, you said date? Oh, Micah. Issei says, yeah, and like, maybe, like, 8 other girls. This is where, well, his uncle says, wait, hold the fuck up, what? He says, okay, so, this is where Issei explains really fast what happens. And this is where, well, his uncle says, I have never went into this many girls on a date, but, kid, either you're the most luckiest kid to ever kind of go on a date like this, because it's literally every guy's dream, or you're unlucky because I feel like you're too lazy to deal with the shit. Issei said, probably both. This is where, well, his uncle says, still, just make them feel great. This is where Issei says, not a perverted way, okay? This is where his uncle says, not in a perverted way. Mostly, just make them feel like they're the queens or whatever. This is where Issei says, I really do not understand from you. This is where his uncle says, oh come on, kid, it's not that bad. No, come on, just get out there and don't fuck it up. This is where Issei says, yeah. Issei kind of just walks away, mostly kind of just like gets towards not Aika, mostly Micah's house, and this is where mostly where Micah kind of lives with the Yakuza, and of course where Issei said, Micah, are you ready? This is where Micah kind of like gets down the stairs because mostly this place is kind of having like upstairs. It kind of looks like a hotel, somewhat mixed with other buildings. There's like other buildings kind of connected to this hotel, so whatever. But of course, where Micah gets down, and of course what she's wearing is basically this. So she's basically wearing this kind of outfit that kind of looks like to have flowers and kind of like a somewhat like mostly some doctor stuff, like mostly the whatever, but not the point. I can't remember right now. But this is where she's walking, blushing, and kind of saying, "Is this fine, Issei?" This is where Issei has kind of a blood nose, which he managed to wipe it out real fast, and this is where he said, "Yeah, you look beautiful." This is where Issei kind of gives his hand towards Micah, and Micah kind of takes it and says, "Are you for sure?" Issei says, yeah. This is where Issei said in his head, God damn, she looks so damn cute, isn't it? This is where almost see Drake says, hold up, kid, before you actually just kind of go beastly on her, you need to calm down. What about the other girls? Issei says, screw you, D-Drake. This is where D-Drake says, hey, I'm just telling you this right now so you don't forget about it. Issei says, shut up already. This is where, mostly Micah and Issei were kind of getting towards mostly the location of where most of the other girls kind of said to meet up. But yeah. When Issei gets there, he is surprised to see mostly the 8 different girls that he kind of met up, mostly like Lucy, what's it called, Mew, and also what's it called, like, Sin, or even what's it called, Maiden, then Mariyama, Catherine, Mira, and then also a couple other girls that he wasn't expecting to see. A girl with kind of bluish hair, of course, she's wearing this nice dress, of course, mostly this black outfit dress, and this is where, she has mostly her abs is kind of showing a little bit, but not much. This is where, another girl kind of there, and this is where just a couple other girls, and this is where, Issei's confused. He also sees Aika, but she's confused and why she's here. But this is where, mostly Issei hops into his hand, and this is where, all the girls turn around to see Issei, which Issei does have his hair not like flowing down, but mostly into a ponytail. But yeah, mostly into looking like this one. So kind of having like his hairstyle of someone like in a ponytail, but yeah. This is where, Issei says, so, hey, this is where, Issei kind of just like waves towards the girls. While the girls kind of blushing and instant seeing Issei look completely different. Mostly, he is wearing mostly like an outfit that's quite designed to kind of be going out to somewhere fancy, but yeah. So, of course, this is where, mostly he's in this outfit while mostly the girls are kind of blushing and insane to kind of, he looks like, what's it called, somewhere that he's going out somewhere fancy, but at the same time he looks like a goddamn like criminal boss, like a goddamn mafia or goddamn like Yakuza kind of boss. This is where, mostly Issei kind of looks at the girls while mostly they're all blushing and of course looking away. Even the girl with kind of bluish hair and some of the other girls who weren't supposed to be on the date. Micah, she is still kind of blushing, not trying to get over the fact that Issei looks completely different. And of course, more mature looking, which that's somehow impossible. But yeah, this is where, mostly Issei kind of just says, so, where do you want to go all? This is where, Issei says, actually, let's first go on with the explainment. Wasn't there supposed to be only 7 girls that were going on this date? Why do I see more than just 7? I know Micah was actually coming along with me. Also, please be nice to her. She's quite shy. This is where Micah is hiding behind Issei. And this is where, mostly Mariyama goes up to Micah and says, hello there. This is where, mostly Micah's blushing and kind of saying, hi. This is where, Mariyama then looks at Issei. And this is where Issei says, so, there's supposed to be you, Mariyama, Aika, or not Aika, mostly Catherine, Mirio, what's it called? Sin, Maiden, Mew, and also what's it called, Lucy. Why do I see more than just like mostly 8 girls that I'm going on? This is where, Mariyama says, well, about that, we kind of just met them, kind of. Mostly, somehow they managed to get the information about we're going all on a date. Thanks to the fact that Catherine literally put that out on Instagram. And this is where Catherine said, it's not my fault, okay? I just wanted to kind of see the reactions of the other girls who couldn't get there. Okay, leave me alone. This is where, well, they somehow managed to hack us and, well, mostly hack the device that Catherine was kind of putting on and find out where we're going. So, yeah, they're here. This is where, well, Issei sweat-drops. He sees, what's it called, Irina, just there also. And this is where Issei sweat-drops even more. Because mostly, he didn't really kind of, like, know Irina too much. Mostly, they're friends. But that was because he thought Irina was literally a guy. But finds out that mostly Irina is a fucking dude. I mean, girl. This is where, well, Issei said. Issei sighed and said, okay, what is exactly your names? This is the girl with bluish hair. She basically has an outfit like this. So she's wearing this kind of outfit, and her name is Estif. This is where, well, mostly it's showing off some, what's it called, this is where, well, it's showing off her asses pretty well. And this is where, well, mostly Issei is looking away because, well, she seems to be quite good looking. This is where, well, mostly he then goes on to the next girl. And this is where the next girl says her name is Kenzaki. Mostly, Kenzaki. This is where, well, mostly a girl with kind of blackish hair. And of course, mostly reddish eyes. And this is where, well, she's blushing, looking away. She also has this kind of shy attitude similar to that of mostly Micah. She probably also has a psychotic attitude, which Issei kind of gets a little bit turned on, but not the point. This is where, well, mostly Issei then looks at the next girl, and she seems to be mostly a girl who is quite shorter, and probably the same height as, what's it called, Aika, because Aika is right next to her. And of course, where, well, she says her name is, what's it called, mostly. This is where, well, she says her name is Toka Kiryu. Basically, she's like the sister of mostly Aika Kiryu. This is where, well, mostly Aika kind of says Aika, Issei. So tell me. This is where she kind of like points her glasses up and trying to see into Issei's kind of like private part. And this is where Issei says, stop looking there, god damn it. This is where, well, mostly Issei gets annoyed. And this is where Aika says, so mean. But yeah, this is Toka Kiryu. She's my sister. She goes to a different school, but not the point. She has a little bit of problems, so that's why she goes to a different school. And Issei switch off and says, okay. This is where she, mostly Tokyo Kiryu kind of reminds her so much of mostly Micah also, which she's just going to ignore that, but for right now, he's just going to kind of tell Aika to fuck off and stop looking at him. That's where, well, mostly Aika says, aw, so mean. I can't believe Moriyama and Catherine tried to even lie about me, the fact that they are going on a date with you. So how about it? Me and you go on a date. Alone ourselves, maybe towards a kind of love. This is where Issei says stop. No, this is where, well, Issei kind of just like slap her hand away. This is where, well, Aika gets angry, but mostly she then kind of licks her lips a little bit. But yeah, this is where, well, the bluish hair girl kind of also kind of looks mostly at Issei because he quite is mostly the hottest boy in the school for right now. This is where, well, mostly Issei goes on to the next girl. Of course, it's none other than Irina. Irina says, Ivina, this is where Issei says, I know your name is Irina. God damn it. We literally have no chemistry and you just decide to show up here or what? That's where, well, Irina says, It's because I didn't want to. This is where, well, her face is all red. She can barely talk. Issei says, whatever. He then goes on to the next girl and next girl and next girl. And he realized there's actually 16 girls in total in this whole date while Issei's just sweat shopping. He just says, curses life. He curses life because it's annoying. This is where, well, Issei decides to just bring them on the date. And of course, yes, he does see what's it called, Reiner, Yuma, and even Junko. And this is where, well, he gets even annoyed more. But whatever. They go on the date. And of course, pretty much, it was just a normal, regular date. And what, well, like 16 other girls. Issei sweat annoyment, but of course, mostly Micah seems to be getting along with Moriyama, Catherine, Mira, even what's called Sin and the others, and this is where, well, Issei was happy that mostly she's getting along pretty well with them, and of course, where, well, mostly, he also found out one thing kind of interesting. He found out when, what's it called, Toka, Micah, and even what's it called, not Tatsumi, mostly, Kenzaki, when they all sneeze at once, they all kind of get kind of murderous vibes. But yeah, this is where, well, when they sneeze back to normal, they just become back to a normal, cute, shy self. This is where, well, Issei says, didn't know that was a thing. This is where, well, mostly Diedrich says, so, where are you going to put all these girls on the category? Yandere, I mean, you already put those two girls into cute, shy yandere. but not the point. This is where he then says, the other girls, like, they kind of look muscular, or you're gonna go with this or that. That's where he says, can you shut the fuck up, D-Drake? Also, did you notice the girl with blue hair? Oh yes, her mostly opie looks pretty. That's where he said, no, not that, you idiot. Did you notice the red symbol? Yes, it's an Imperial weapon. I see. Why the hell is she targeting me? This is where D-Drake says, I mean, it could be for a couple of reasons. Either she's targeting you because you are considered to be stronger than normal humans. She's targeting you to kind of get you kind of to F her in the bed. This is where he says, like, shut the fuck up, D-Drake. Shut the hell up already. D-Drake says, oh, come on, kid. I mean, I'm being dead ass serious. It could be any reason. This is where Issei sweats up and says, fine. Issei kind of like gets up from the bench, and this is where, well, the day is about to end, but of course, well, Issei, before kind of like getting up entirely, mostly, Micah gets on top of him, and of course, she's in her kind of psychotic side right now, and this is where she says, so, Issei-kun, who's going to be the lucky girl who's going to have you? This is where, well, Issei says, hello there, Micah, or Yandere Micah. This is where, well, mostly calls, Micah's crazy side Yandere Micah, and this is where, well, Yandere Micah kind of just giggles at mostly Issei's kind of little, mostly just accusations. This is where, well, mostly, she said, oh, that kind of hurts. I could be Micah herself. You don't know that. This is where Issei says, no, I can tell from her eyes most of the time. So tell me, what exactly do you want? This is where, well, Yandere Micah says, I want you to be for myself. I mean, the other two girls that I met that are quite yandere could be cute to your harem. But then again, I never expected to have a harem entirely. I thought you were going to be a one-man girl. So why did you bring Micah along with you, if you were going to show that you had a harem? Issei says, this was totally an accident most of the time. It's pretty much not me trying to make a harem. But girls just follow me because I don't know. That's the word. Well, we'll see. Micah Yandere says, well, you're going to be my first, okay? I'm going to make sure that you become my first. And no one else. This is where, well, Issei kind of grabs mostly Yandere Micah's head, kind of pushes her into his face, and this is where, well, he basically just kisses her. This is where, well, Micah's widen her eyes, even she goes back to her normal shy personality, and this is where, well, she's even blushing more. She's nothing but a blushing mess. This is where, well, Issei says, there. That tastes so delicious. Issei looks at the lips, and this is where, well, we'll see Micah's face was all red. Even Yandere Micah was inside her head, and this is where she was blushing mess. She never expected that Issei would be that brave to do that. Issei kind of just says, so, let's go enjoy ourselves and stop with this whole thing of being first. This is where, well, Issei kind of grabs her off of him, and this is where, well, he then gives her hand, and then they walk away. But of course, the day kind of just goes normal. Nothing sexual, but except for Issei kind of just kissing Micah, but yeah. Of course, the other girls were kind of jealous a little bit on that because they did kind of saw the sight. And of course, they didn't really do anything, but just because the fact that they were kind of intervening in this date in the first place, some of them, because, well, then again, the first girl to ever date Issei would be mostly Micah, but yeah. Well, it was just a normal, regular date. Then mostly a lot of girls will want to go on a date again with Issei, because Issei is quite interesting. But other than that, we go into mostly Issei going back to school. Issei is yawning. Of course, there's like really not that much danger around the whole school, except for dealing for the occasional kind of darkness bug, and of course trying to figure out who exactly the motherfucker is trying to do this. But Issei gets teleported to a different dimension until he realizes that he's fighting against an Aron card, who is right now pissed from the fact that he keeps destroying all the bugs, the darkness bugs, from taking human kind of souls and energy. This is where, well, Issei switch up and says, fuck sakes, well, whatever. But for right now, I'm gonna leave it off here for kind of part 8 of this What If. Hope you guys like it. Yes, it's part 8. Part 9 will be whenever. Maybe during the night. Maybe. I don't know. Bye. See you.